In this video, we are going to look at the 5 struggles of growing up as an INFJ. INFJs are often considered to be the rarest personality types. First, if you don't already know, INFJ stands for introverted, intuitive, feeling, and judging. So just think about it. Most people you meet are too much of one thing. Some might be too feeling, others might be really judgmental. Some go on with their intuition and tend to flirt with their instincts a bit too much, while others can be simply introverted. An INFJ is all of them, but really none of them, at the same time. This unique blend of introversion, intuition, judgment, and feeling makes them people we don't normally meet, or we don't meet as often as other people. Psychologists say that only around 2 to 3% of the world's population is INFJ. That means that if you have met 100 people in your life, only 2 of them might have an INFJ personality type. And how many of the supposed 100 people you have met do you know in depth? Say you know their tastes and dislikes. Not a lot, right? So it is quite obvious that INFJs are a rarity, and it is more of a rarity that people understand them in a way that we want others to understand us. And given the insecurities we have growing up, conforming to the rules of people around us, INFJs have more of a problem being understood as they don't quite meet others like them as much as they would want to. But what kind of struggles do they actually have growing up? We'll take a look at them shortly. But before that, we wanted to let you know that we talk so much about the psychology of people around us because it makes us know the world and the people that fill it. Wouldn't it be a better place if we took time to understand them? And we make these videos for free. All we ask is for you to click the like button if you enjoy our videos. Also hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on our takes on psychology and other areas of life. You already know that hitting the notification button will mean that you won't miss out on new videos. INFJs are introverted, but have a deep desire to be well understood and liked. Although we tend to think of judgmental people as ones who don't quite feel the pain of others, INFJs are feeling. So they are where 2 poles converge, a little bundle of contradiction. And wouldn't contradictory people have some struggles growing up? Without further ado, let's dive into the 5 struggles that present themselves when one is growing up as an INFJ. Number 1. A relentless quest for perfectionism. Can you think of anything that is more difficult than an itch, a feeling from deep inside that things can be better than they actually are, and the constant urge to be better, a constant urge to hone your crafts and push yourself harder than you ever have? And to make the world a better place. This has to be one of the most difficult things that an INFJ personality type encounters growing up. INFJ personality types tend to be introverted and reflective, and this has some high degree of correlation with art and artistic abilities, whether it be playing an instrument or painting your feelings on a canvas, or perfecting the way you phrase your ideas. And often creative people are born with some sort of an unrest that propels them to become better and better. While this quality might have a competitive edge over others when you've completed your university or its equivalent in other areas, a person who is growing up with this mentality can often be perceived as somewhat quirky or bizarre. While growing up, everyone wants to be thought of as cool. And what is more opposite of cool than constantly mulling over crafts in a deeply contemplative manner? This means that socialization can pose its own problems, and bullying can be an issue. It is a given that everyone enjoys the company of like-minded people. Given that the INFJ personality types are so rare, in a class of 50 students, one might feel that there's no one around them who has the same itch to become better all the time. And even statistically, you're unlikely to run into an INFJ personality type in your family or your class. Number 2. A growing feeling of alienation. Everyone has the need to belong, whether it be in a close-knit circle of deeply connected friends or feeling a sense of unison within a class or family. And this is no different for an INFJ personality type. Sometimes an INFJ personality type might have a whole host of ideas that others are simply incapable of comprehending. Say how warped the space can be, or in what circumstances World War I might have been avoided, or which notes in combination might bring out the bittersweet symphony that life offers us. Listening to such things might not be everyone's cup of tea. Besides, INFJs see the world feelingly, to borrow a Shakespearean phrase. So they tend to be minute in their analysis of what people might like or dislike. And trying to please everyone around you, taking their feelings and senses into consideration, might feel like a mountainous weight. Just because we say that INFJs try to take the feelings of other people into consideration doesn't mean that when treated with a sense of unfairness, they will be docile. You might also see violent bursts of anger from them if they feel that they're somehow wronged. But anger management classes often stress that small but repeated bursts of anger help maintain relationships with people. A violent storm of emotions might destroy a relationship with someone permanently. So an INFJ is likely to lose a few people in their lives, which only increases their sense of not belonging somewhere. Does this sound like you or someone you know? Please share in the comments section. Number 3. Constant interruptions and distractions add to their woes. INFJs tend to delve into trance-like states quite regularly, like whenever they have time on their own. In this meditative state, the thing they are focusing on takes center stage. They get into what is commonly known as the zone. Getting into their zone is what adds fuel to the fire of perfectionism that burns in their very core. However, if you are their family member, you might feel that these deep zones that they go to from time to time hamper them in a negative way, and you try to keep them busy. Such interruptions frustrate them. Who in their sane mind would give up a feeling of getting into the groove for something that they perceive for the moment as mundane? In addition, they might veer off track while having a conversation. They tend to read facial expressions, hand gestures, and the way and the tone in which a person is trying to express themselves. They might focus on these things a lot harder than what the speaker is trying to convey. And that is not even their fault. Their instincts drive them to such places. So they become distracted from the main points of the conversation and hang on too tightly to the fringes. These are other wounds of interruptions and distractions that are often self-inflicted. Number 4. Burning out too quickly. Growing up is quite a phase, and school is quite a place. Both of them are energy-sapping experiences. When the body is growing, all cellular mechanisms are at full tilt to make you as physically robust as possible. On top of that, learning various subjects in school leaves your mind playing catch-up with the body. To add to this, you have other extracurricular activities, like sports, that might run 2 to 3 hours beyond normal school time. And given that the minds of INFJs are deeply imaginative and running in their own worlds, all of these factors combine to cause their energy to burn out too quickly. We know that strong mental activities add to the stress on the physical body and vice versa. So if you're a parent and push the extracurricular activities of an INFJ too hard, they might be too exhausted. As we said before, some parents try to overcompensate for what they perceive as daydreaming by involving INFJs in too many activities. While it is better for an INFJ to pursue their artistic imaginations, parents have a hard time knowing this. And there's also the risk that when the imagination overcomes real life, something might go wayward. So establishing a balancing line where an INFJ's mental and physical activities are in alignment is a nifty thing to master. And not all parents or guardians have perfected this craft. So most of the time, INFJs have undergone this feeling of weariness while growing up. Are you the parent of an INFJ? Tell us about it. Number 5. A feeling that they know everything. Sometimes what we think of as gifts can be curses. One might believe that knowing everything is a splendid thing, but the curse of knowing too many things haunts INFJs while growing up. But what exactly are the things that INFJs know about? Well, for instance, They know that the things you are saying can be said in a better way. This constant urge of perfectionism never really leaves them. They also feel that they understand you a lot better than you understand yourself. We are all prisoners of our own viewpoints, right? So we take a look at things from the prisms of our perspectives. But INFJs know you from your perspective and from theirs too. INFJs also know that being shy is one of their traits, and this sometimes means that they are unable to bond with people, while at the same time knowing that they could have done it and how and in what ways. They've got this strong urge to be deeply connected with some people, but they don't always express themselves in a particular way, believing that they might hurt you. This is a strange situation where they know what they could have done but just couldn't do it, and that they just wouldn't do it. One has to agree that such deep understanding and frustration can definitely be a curse. These are not the only struggles that an INFJ has while growing up. There are plenty more. They are telescopic in their vision, and if there's a problem in the family or even some tension, they can somehow see the perspectives of each and every individual involved, and they tend to soak this up. They generally have strong opinions about things and might be mistaken for being too opinionated. But on the inside, they realize that there is a clear distinction between the world of ideas and the world of emotions. In the latter world, they want things to operate in a synthesis, a harmony of sorts. This polarity of understanding, of their being, might give us the sense that they are somehow contradictory by nature. But who has not been in a state of constant contradiction, locking horns with their very being? Are there any other struggles perhaps you faced growing up as an INFJ? Are there any problems that you know an INFJ faces that we forgot to cover? Let us know in the comments below. We love reading them and understanding the world around us through you. Also, if you liked the video, please hit the like button. And don't forget to subscribe to us for more fascinating ideas. In the meantime, you can take a look at the video on your screen.